All right, folks, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, our little special episode before our Ocean City trip. So excited today. There's a lot of things to be excited about, and some things I'm going to be a little upset about. We got Big Ern and the Wanderer here. Guys, say hello.
Hello.
Hope everybody's doing well.
Excellent. Now we got that out of the way. So my rant for today, real quick. I know I talk about this a lot, but it's getting infuriating for me. I'm
Yankees?
No, not yet. We'll get to that. We got a lot to talk about with them and the Mets coming up shortly with this whole All-Star break on tap, the Home Run Derby tonight, which I'm excited about. That hopefully I get to watch it. But so we live in New Hyde Park / Floral Park area, right? So I was driving all over the place this morning because we were going to get ready for Ocean City, right? So I'm stopping here, I'm stopping there. I had to go to CVS. So after I left your house, I'm like, oh, CVS is right here. Let me go right there. I get there 1:31 on the nose, and it's closed for lunch at 1:30.
The store?
Lunch?
The whole store?
No, not the whole store, just the pharmacy.
Oh.
You know? But still, I don't need anything from the store. I need the pharmacy. Like, I have my medication for my arm because my arm's been acting up. So my doctor gave me some naproxen or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know what it is. But either which way.
It's crazy, too, that they don't have more than one person.
Right, like you can't stack your lunches so that it's always open. Like I don't understand. Everyone got, and it's only a half hour, which is weird. Like, wouldn't it be an hour? Like, don't people get an hour lunch?
Depends, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I guess it depends, but I literally got there a minute later. The screen thing was cut down. I'm like, damn it. I'm like, now I gotta go do everything else and then come back and then go home. So I left, and I literally got there a minute late. But whatever. Timing isn't my thing all the time, so whatever. So now I'm going, I go to the liquor store to pick up some booze for us for the week. Then I go to the bank. Then I'm like, I'm stuck in no man's land because now I have to go to the smoke shop to pick up claws and my vape stuff and then go back to CVS. Now where I was at the TD Bank on Hillside, which is literally right in between both. So I'm gonna get screwed either which way. Like I'm doubling back somewhere. If I go to Lakeville now, then I gotta go to CVS and then come back around. Either which way, I'm screwed. So I'm like, you know what? It's 5 minutes to 2. Let me go to CVS, and then I'll be closer to home on the way. So I go to CVS. I literally get there at 1:59, and there's someone in front of me. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Thankfully, they were fast, because sometimes you used to wait on that line, that drive-through line, and like they're ordering either
you go through the drive-through.
Yeah, I don't bother with going inside because you got to get out, get in there, you wait on that line. Like sometimes the drive-through is quicker depending on how you hit it.
Right.
Trust me, sometimes I've been out there for a half an hour. But I'm like, if I get there right around 2, I should be the first one, get it, go, hit the other place, and then I'm home in 15 minutes. Fine. I get there. Like I said, there was one person ahead of me. Thankfully, he was quick. Then I have to travel all the way through. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go down East Williston. It's the easiest way to go down. Now, East Williston...
Where are you coming from again?
From CVS.
Okay.
East Williston is a death trap.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because every block has a stop sign.
Yeah.
And you just get to drive straight through. And when you're on East Williston, there's a bunch of stop signs.
Yeah, I know
Go
what
ahead.
you mean.
Go ahead.
No, I agree.
Okay, so
There's a lot of stuff.
I'm literally turning on East Williston thinking, someone's going to try and kill me today. I'm like, someone's going to blow a stop sign, ram into me, and I'm going to be infuriated, and I don't know what I'm going to do. So here's the map. I turn from Little Neck, 256, 258, 260. I'm like, okay, this is working out well. I don't even get to 263rd, and what happens? Someone's coming from my right, not even looking my way, which if I'm going straight, the cars on my right, they should be looking left first, not right. I literally see them looking right and start to go. I hold the horn, they're still going. They got within like a few feet of my car and stopped. Thank God they stopped. But I'm like, Jesus, and I stare them down. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's a stop sign for a reason. You're not supposed to like coast through it, and you're looking the wrong way anyway. If you were looking left and like maybe you messed up like the brake and gas, whatever, which is retarded in itself, I would understand. But you're not even looking my direction, which they teach you in driving school. You look the direction that's gonna hit you first. You know what I mean? So if you're on the other side, you'd be looking the way that they want to look. But you're not on the other side. You're on the wrong side, if anything. What the hell are you doing? Right?
It's getting bad.
And I don't know if they're just handing out driver's licenses like Tic Tacs. Like, what are you doing? Like, you just come, here, you get old enough, you get a license, whatever it is. It could be young people, old people, different, ethnicities or whatever, nationalities. But, like, you have to learn how to drive because you're just, this is why insurance, like you, for example, we were talking about this a few weeks ago. Your insurance is through the roof, which I still don't understand.
Yeah.
And we got you the defensive driving, but I don't know how much that took off, but
Not a lot.
my insurance is cheaper than yours, and I've had several accidents in this neighborhood, and I don't understand how your insurance is higher.
And I was told, when I called to try to change it, I was told I'm paying a good rate.
Which is crazy to me because I pay right now $18.45, and I have at least 2 accidents still on the books because depending on what insurance company you go through, they either do 3 or 5 years back. So if they do 5 years back, it's 3. If they do 3 years back, it's 2. So whatever. But if you have no accidents, I don't know if you have like the gold package where like they helicopter you out if you get in an accident or like whatever. Like I don't know what you're paying for, but I would suggest you look into that with everything else that's going on because I don't understand how I'm paying less than you. And $1,800 is high for me.
Well, you're paying a little more than me. I'm paying 16 and change every 6 months.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I'm paying, but even still,
Right.
like I have 2 accidents on me, but it's only costing me like let's say $200 more.
Right.
It's crazy. You should be in the realm
No
realistically.
tickets, no anything.
Nothing. You realistically, you should be in the realm of like $1,000.
I would think so.
You know what I mean? Because when I first applied to my insurance, Geico, they gave me it was $1,029, and that was before all my accidents. Then I got into my accidents, it went up obviously a ton. It's starting to slowly come down. Hopefully, in the next year or 2, it'll go down a little bit more. But it's crazy. Wonder, do you have the same kind of insurance issues that we do?
How it keeps going up.
Well, can't do anything about that. But
What
it's
do you-
your
What do you pay?
I think it's like 91 a month.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
Oh,
You have full coverage.
yeah, I think so.
That's
Okay,
Or maybe
so
not full. Maybe not full. Maybe just like basic.
Yeah, because your car's is used.
Yeah.
You didn't buy it new.
No.
So you probably have like, he probably has like liability, right? Isn't that the one you're supposed to have?
right.
So that would make sense because he's paying less than $600 every 6 months.
Yeah.
So that's insane insurance. So you don't have the same problem. So I hate you now. But anyway, if you're listening to this and you live in the area, stay away from East Williston. You're just gonna get T-boned. That's it. All right. That's all I'm gonna tell you about that. And now we'll go to baseball and we'll go to the All-Star break and we'll discuss a couple of different things that happened this weekend that I'm not particularly happy about, but we're going to discuss it anyway. So let's start on Friday. Now, were you watching any of the Mets games?
Let's see. Friday, I believe I saw the Mets win.
Okay.
I think they came back or something, or maybe they just won. And I saw there was an incident with the Yankees game there.
Yes, that's what I want to talk about. So we come into on Friday we come into the game. The Yankees win 4-1. Clay Holmes is on the mound. I want to say it was the 9th inning. It should have been the 9th inning.
I think it was the 8th.
Yeah.
No, it was the night.
Or was it the
Yeah.
Yep.
So it starts to rain, and we all know Clay Holmes. He's a nice guy. He's not Mariano Rivera, right? So whatever.
Doesn't have the best of control to begin with.
Right. That's what I'm alluding to. So he hits. I don't remember the guy's name. It's like Kurjad or Kurstad or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it. But either which way, it's raining. He goes up and into the guy. It hits him right square in the head, like right by the ear.
Yeah.
He goes down pretty much like a sack of potatoes. Clay Holmes tries to see if he's okay. The manager for the Orioles comes out, says, "Get him away from my guy." He starts chirping at the Yankees dugout. They start chirping back. All of a sudden, the bench is clear. The guys from the bullpens are running in. And I automatically went back to when I was a kid in 1998 when the Baltimore Orioles with Armando Benitez hits Tino Martinez in the back. I'll never forget that until the day I die. and then all
Strawberry jumping into the dugout.
all hell breaks loose. It's not just Darryl Strawberry. It's literally everybody is fighting. And the funniest thing about it that I remember, and that I just recently saw because of this thing happening on Friday, is the calmest person I saw on the field was Paul O'Neill.
Yeah.
Like Paul O'Neill was like pushing Tito back.
Paul O'Neill would get mad at himself, but not at anybody else.
Yeah, but you think the way he acted all the time,
Yeah.
if you got him in a brawl, he would just be like punching dudes left and right, not giving a damn what's going on.
Meanwhile, Tino, who seemed like the calmest guy in the world, is the one that
Was like enraged, which I don't blame him because I heard an interview with him where when he got hit in the back, like he spasmed. Like that's why he went back like this and he put his shoulder blades back. He couldn't move it for a second. Like it hurt him that much because remember, that was 1998. The guys weren't throwing 100 miles an hour. This guy was like throwing 98, 99, which is close enough. That's a hard fastball to take in the middle of your back. So he got spasmed out. That's why at first they didn't engage because he couldn't really move his back. And then once it got loose, then that's when everything happened. So now let's move forward. So now everyone clears. The bullpens come in. Graham Lloyd and Jeff Nelson, who are two tall dudes. They might not be the biggest dudes, but they're like 6'7", 6'6".
Yeah.
And they're coming in and they're like haymakering Benitez. And then it's spilling into almost to the Orioles dugout. And then, like you guys said, Darryl Strawberry comes in, haymakers Benitez, pops him in the face, falls right down into the dugout, and then it just ensues in the dugout. So this fight, even though it wasn't as crazy as that one, it was just the right team at the right time that sparked that. Like, cause like if that happened to like the Blue Jays or the Twins, we wouldn't go back to 1998. But the fact that it was the Orioles, I went right back to 1998 and like, I was glad that I was watching that game that night because at night normally I'm like watching one of the shows we gotta watch. I was like, yo, that game is almost over. So I was like, let me just watch the game. So I saw it live, and at first when you see it, you don't even see it because they went to another clip. So as they're like jawing and starting to argue, they're showing you the replay, and then all of a sudden Michael K goes nuts. He's like, oh, they're charging the field, and you're like, what's going on? And then they show it from another angle. They get another camera on it. And you're like, oh man, this is crazy. And they're really just only pushing and shoving, so it wasn't crazy like there was in 98, but it literally brought me back to my childhood.
Like 9 out of 10 of them nowadays, not a punches thrown or anything like that.
There's a lot of shoving.
The only thing that I didn't get is the reaction from the Orioles manager.
Yeah,
Like
it seemed like
he went nuts. And I mean, you got to be a complete moron if you think he did that on purpose.
Correct.
But it's 4-1. It's the 9th inning. I think there was 2 strikes on the guy, and it started raining. So I mean, I heard something that said that apparently maybe something was said from the Yankees dugout that he wasn't happy about, and that's what he got pissed off about or something. I don't know, but I think that his reaction was just totally uncalled for.
Yeah, it was uncalled for from the very beginning, and he could say whatever he wants about the Yankees dugout chirping, and maybe they shouldn't have, but if he showed constraint, none of that would have happened. Like,
Right.
and it shows to, and I'm going to give Clay Holmes props. We'll get into Sunday's game, and a lot of guys are hating on Clay. A lot of Yankee fans are hating on Clay Holmes, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But Clay Holmes is a nice guy. Everyone says it. You hear interviews with him. You know what kind of pitcher he is. He's a slider, ground ball type of pitcher. He never goes after anybody. So, to me, you put all that together, and then you see Clay Holmes coming to see if he's okay. Now, I'm not going to say if it's intentional the guy doesn't come to see if he's okay, because you still might have to play it up. But the fact that he goes to see if he's okay speaks to his character, right?
And then taking into account all the other factors tells you right there.
That's what I mean. So if you just knew the person and he didn't do anything else, you'd be like, whatever. And then you got to take the weather into account. It was raining. It could have slipped. Like Ernie said, he doesn't have the best control, and we'll go to Sunday to prove that. And, you know, maybe it's frustrating. The only thing I could take from it, and I'm not a baseball manager by any means, but maybe he's so involved into the game, and also the Orioles haven't been doing as good either, just like the Yankees. They've both been sliding. That's why this was a big series, because whoever won the series whether you win 3 or 2, they were going into that weekend 1 game out, the Yankees. So they won that game. They were tied, or maybe they were 2 games out.
Yes.
They were 2 games out. Sorry, I stand corrected. So they won the first 2. Now they're tied. If they won the third one, now they go into the All-Star break, even after having a bad month of baseball, a game up on the Orioles. So no harm, no foul. And we all know baseball is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I don't get worked up when they're 6-15.
Right, because everybody's going to go on a run.
Yeah, and the Orioles showed you that they were doing it too, just a little bit better because they were keeping the lead. And the Yankees, when they were going through the stretch, were originally 2 games up on the Orioles, and the Orioles just flipped it on them. So they were like 2 or 3 games better than them. So what? You still have another 70 games left in the season. That's where it's going to tell. The second half always tells, and we know with baseball that it's the team in September that's the hottest that usually is going to win the World Series. And out of the last bunch of World Series champions, a lot of them were wild card teams that just got hot at the right time and played really well in the playoffs. So
look at last year.
exactly, and there was the Nationals were another one, and I still think if we look it up, there was a few more of those. You know what I mean? So it's just a team that's hot in September and carries it into October. So you could have the lull in June and July. You start to pick it up at the end of July. You get your through the trade deadline. Maybe you pick up a couple pieces, and then you finish out the rest of the season and you go ham from there, right? So that was Friday. The Mets won on Friday. Did they do anything special on Friday?
No, I don't think so. Maybe Iglesias and somebody else had 2 home runs.
Oh, that's nice.
The 2 guys had 2 home runs.
That's nice. And now, did the Mets win on Saturday too? Because I know they lost yesterday.
I think, I believe they won on Saturday, and then Sunday, they did not.
Right. So the Mets have been doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're winning series. They're playing bad teams, and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is great. Now, everyone on the radio or on TV saying they're one of the best teams in baseball right now.
Well, they split, I guess, with the Pirates, but I guess better than losing.
Better than losing 3 out of 4. That's fine. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're consistently winning. That's fine. Now, I'm one of those people that aren't reactionary to these things. Like, are the Mets as good as they are now, or are they as bad as they were in April and May? Now, it's the exact opposite with the Yankees, right? So the Yankees were great in April and May. They were the first team to win 50 games. And now everyone wants to crap on the Yankees and say they're terrible and this, that, and the other thing. They could be easily as bad as they are right now, but equally as good as they were in April and May.
Right.
Like, they could have a bad June and July, and then all of a sudden, August, September, be like they were in April and May, and there's your 110 wins, and they go into the playoffs hot, and now everyone's singing their praises. That's why I'm not one of those, like, Yankee fans that are going to overreact.
Yeah, what's the thing you've been, especially with us in New York, what's the thing you've been hearing everybody saying lately? You're usually not as good as you're playing when you're winning, and you're not as bad as you're not as bad as you're playing when you're losing.
Correct. And the Yankees, don't get me wrong, they've been playing bad for almost a month now, if not a month. But you can't take away from them that the 2 months before that, they were playing outstanding baseball. There's just...
And that's why it's so important that they got off to the start that they did, because now it allows you to have the little...
Correct. You could have that low, whereas I guess what I'm trying to show is they want to say the Mets are more exciting. I'll agree with you. That's fine right now. You want to say the Mets are a better team than they were in April and May. I'm not going to agree with that. You're somewhere in the middle. In the beginning of the year, before they even played, I said the Mets were going to be a 500 ball club. They might make the playoffs if they get hot at the right time. That's exactly what they're doing right now. The Yankees are flip-flopped, right? So the Mets have 2 bad months and 1 month that was really good in June, and now in July, and they're the same way. So we're halfway through July. So 2 months bad, 1.5 months good. Until they get past where it's even, basically they break even, where it's 2 months and 2 months, and then we'll figure out where they are. It's the same thing with the Yankees. The Yankees had 2 months good and a month and a half bad. So the Yankees are more good than bad, and the Mets are more bad than good. But they're going to fall in the middle. The only difference is if you get off to a hot start, you're 20 games above 500.
Right.
Whereas the Mets are only, what, 2 games over 500? 3 games?
Right, you're struggling to stay at that.
Correct.
500 mark.
Yeah, they're 3 games over 500. They're 49 and 46, and the Yankees are 58 and 40. So they're 18 games up. And now I'll get to, I'm not going to talk about the Yankees Saturday game because they won that convincingly. Aaron Judge and Soto went back-to-back home runs, belly to belly. Fantastic. We love to see that. Sunday is where I have the issue. So Sunday, they were losing 3-2 for most of the game. All of a sudden, our rookie first baseman, Ben Rice, comes out in the top of the 9th, hits a 3-run bomb. Awesome. We get no more runs. Now we go to the bottom of the 9th. Clay Holmes is on the mound.
And what was the score?
It was 5-3.
In the bottom of the ninth.
Bottom of the 9th. So we're going to golf. I'm meeting up with the guys to go golf at Casino. And I literally get out of my apartment because for whatever reason, MLB let Roku have the Yankee game on, which pissed me off.
I think I was, when I checked on ESPN, I did see Roku, and I'm like, what channel is that?
Agreed. I'm like, what? So let's rewind. What I know of Roku is almost like an Apple TV or an Amazon Fire Stick.
That's exactly what it is.
But apparently
so
it's
they
not
have-
anymore. It's
they
an
have
app.
their own channel now?
It's an app. No, it's like almost like it's its own, like, I don't even know if you call it a streaming service.
platform?
A streaming platform maybe. I don't know, because it's like the Amazon
streaming
Fire
service.
Stick or the Apple TV where you plug it into your TV and then you
Right,
get it.
yeah.
But apparently now it's not that. Because I remember seeing Roku was like a box, like
Well, it
Apple
probably
TV.
started out as that, and now it evolved to.
Now it's just like an
Fire.
HBO Max. Now it's just like an app that you stream stuff off of.
Right.
Because I called my dad, and I'm like, Dad, where is this fucking Yankee game? It's like it was on Roku. I'm like, what is?
He has it.
Yeah, apparently he downloaded it because he was watching the game, and I'm like,
Dad's gotta
what?
Put you on to
Yeah.
the news.
But like,
stuff.
I go to him because I'll come home, like we always talk about. I'm like looking for the Yankee game and see it on either Amazon, Peacock, Apple TV, and I'm like, what's going on? It's driving me nuts. And now all of a sudden they got it on Roku too. I'm telling you right now.
They got Prime and Apple.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, we're starting a streaming service and we're getting Yankee games, and then we're gonna just do content. We're gonna make TV shows and movies, and that's what we're gonna do. But either which way, I'm like, I only knew Roku as like almost like a plug into the TV type of thing. But then I'm like, how do you get the game from there? Because it's not like an app like HBO Max. My dad's like, oh, just go to the app section and it's an app. I'm like, okay. I didn't even bother because I knew I was leaving to go meet up with you for golf. I'll just listen on the radio on the way in. So I get into the car. Cabrera walks. Literally, I'm on the highway. Rice is a 3-0 home run. I'm like, great, Yankees win. We got this. We're up by 2 now, whatever. Obviously not. Clay Holmes gets into trouble, walks 2 guys, gets an out here. Volpe makes an error on a routine ground ball.
I saw that.
I didn't see the ground ball, but what I did see, which I have a problem with, is Verdugo's fly ball. Now, Verdugo is not a gold glove like Volpe, at least I don't think he is, but he's a very good, better than average outfielder. He takes the wrong read on the ball. So he comes in 2 steps first, which is what you're taught to do. The only thing is you're supposed to be able to turn, not lose your footing, and go back, because you saw him turn, he loses his balance because I guess he started to freak out, which is probably what the problem was. As he freaks out, he loses his footing. He's now like doing that, I don't want to fall, and then he finally falls, and literally the ball landed like within 2 or 3 feet behind him, and then the game was over. We're like, if he didn't fall, I'm completely confident that he would have caught that ball.
Sure.
It might have been like a dive, or it might have been like, look, some kind of crazy way where like he turns around and catches it like this. But if he didn't fall, he would have caught it. The Yankees would have won 5-4. We swept the Orioles. Now we take the season lead. I think it would have been 6-5 at the point, because I think at the time it was going to be 5-5, something like that. I think right now I think we would have tied it. So it was 4-5 going into it. If we would have won that, the season series would have tied 5-5, which is huge, because I only think they have 1 more series left in New York, and I want to say it's a 3-game series. We could double check that, but either which way, it's huge that we lost that game.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So we go into the All-Star break and people are making noise about it, and people are saying like that was like one of the worst losses of the year. Which
when did they win the series last weekend?
they did. They won the first two, so they finally won a series because they didn't win a series in like seven
Right,
series.
right.
So they finally won a series, but they should have swept the series. They would have tied the season series 5-5, I believe.
I see.
And then, you know, it would have been a little bit different. You know what I mean? Now you would only have to win 2 out of your 3 in New York, which you hope you could do whenever they play. Like I'm trying to look at, see, like right now they don't have. Oh, let's see the full schedule.
I'm going to assume it's going to be in September. Right?
Yeah, it has to be at the end of the year. I'm just gonna go. But like my thoughts on it was just very simple. Like you sweep them, you finally gave them a little taste of what they've been giving to us the last year and a half.
Right.
And like we didn't have it. Okay, so September, you're right, and it's right at the end of the year. It's literally the 24th, 25th, 26th.
Yeah, because they obviously have become our new
Yeah, in the last year and a half.
Astros, right?
Yeah, 100%. And like let me look at August. Let me see if they play them again. Nope. So we have 3 more games. Right now it's 4-6. So we basically have to sweep them, and this all depends on like the standings. Like if you wind up being tied in the standings, that's the only time it matters. So if the Yankees have a 4 or 5 game lead at that point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the way things are going, it's could very easily be a possibility.
Agreed. Which is why I wanted that big win. And now if you go into the All-Star break with a 3-game winning streak, that's good because then you come back, you play whoever you're going to play. Let's see. You play the Tampa Bay Rays at home, and then you play the Mets. So you're playing 2 decent. Like Tampa Bay's not great, but they've always been a thorn in the Yankees' side the last couple of years. So now you got to play Tampa 4 games. Then you play the Mets 2, and then you go on the road against Boston and Philadelphia. So it's not like it gets any easier. But if you would have had a 3-game win against the Orioles, then you beat Baltimore, Tampa Bay the next 2 games. You have a 5-game win streak. Now all of a sudden you got your momentum back. Even if you lose to Tampa, one of the next 2, now all of a sudden out of your last 8 or 9 games, you're 6-2, 7-1, and you're feeling good about yourselves. And then you go play the Mets.
Got another little streak going.
Yeah, and now you play the Mets, and you gotta give them an ass whooping because you got swept at Citi Field. So now you gotta sweep them. So now you sweep them, you're looking 9 out of 11. Now the Yankees are back. Now you play Boston, we owe them an ass whooping because they beat us 2 out of 3 the last 2 times. You give them a little piece. And then you play Philly. Nobody likes Philly. You give them a little piece.
That should be a good series.
Yeah, 100%. They're the best team in baseball right now.
Did they sweep the Dodgers?
I don't know. Check it out. I don't know.
Who, the Yankees?
No, the Phillies.
Oh.
But all I'm saying is now
They
you
play
build a
Philly
winning
in
streak.
Philly, right?
Yeah, they go to Boston and then Philly. So they're away for those. And then you come back, you play the Blue Jays, you play the Angels at home, you play the Rangers at home. So you have a nice almost week and a half home games. Week and a half of home games.
Yeah, they swept them.
See, there you go. So if you get through all that and you want to be in anywhere, 14 or 15 wins out of 20, you're back in the game. You're over 30 games, over 500, and you don't have to worry about nothing.
Now we gotta just see what happens with what moves are made, right?
Yeah. Well, I think the trade deadline is July 31st. So you still got a couple weeks, which is funny because you got the schedule. You're basically playing all those teams I just told you about.
Right, and also I'm assuming All-Star Weekend is probably where a lot of these discussions are coming up between teams and stuff. So let's see.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's people on the phone talking to people about grabbing people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's going to get really interesting right around July 25th, 26th, that weekend, because the next Wednesday is the 31st.
Right.
So that weekend before it is where it starts to heat up. People start making moves. So the Yankees and the Mets both need the same kind of help. The Mets less. They just need a bullpen help. The Yankees need bullpen help.
Everybody needs bullpen.
Agreed. But we only consider ourselves with the New York side of things. So You got bullpen help for the Mets. You got bullpen help for the Yankees. The Yankees need a third baseman. The Yankees need a second baseman.
I heard a name come up the other day on the radio, which was a name that I didn't know why they didn't sign him prior to the start of the season. It was Chapman, Matt Chapman.
Yeah. Where is he right now?
San Francisco. He signed that deal with San Francisco.
Was it a short deal? Like a
Yeah, I think it was, if I remember right, it was like a 3-year deal. Because I think he was another one of those Boris guys that.
Yeah, you're right. And what's funny too is when he was with Toronto the last year or two, because I think they traded for him from the, Oakland, he wasn't that good, but he's having a good year with the Giants. So he might be, and he's a Gold Glove third baseman. So he might really be
Who's
good.
that?
Matt Chapman.
I don't know why they didn't get him.
Well, they didn't because they got Soto, and they thought,
Yeah, I
DJ
guess,
would be the third baseman, and everyone would be okay, and Gleyber on a walk here. But some of these guys, you gotta just leave for bench guys at this point.
What do you think about? I heard what's his name mentioned too, Whit Merrifield.
Whit Merrifield? Oh, he's on Toronto.
Oh, they
Right now.
picked him up.
No, he's been on there since last year. They traded for him last year.
Oh,
So they might. Well, Toronto.
I thought he got released because I thought I heard Michael Kay saying that he was available.
Oh, I don't know. Well, he might be available through trade. I don't know if he was released. I don't know if you release a guy like that. That's kind of crazy.
He hasn't done much.
No, I mean not with Toronto, but he was great with Kansas City. But either which way, the Yankees just need to bolster up a few different spots because there's no Martian coming till September, and you might not even see him in September. So your backup plan is gone. I know Giancarlo Stanton's coming back. They said he's going to come back after the All-Star break, which could be good. But we all know, unfortunately...
He was on the Phillies. He got released.
Oh, he's on the Phillies. He got released.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, you might want to give him a chance, but New York, that's a tough spot for a guy like that.
Yeah. And then what they keep talking about, if Toronto's going to go on a fire sale.
Do you get Vlad Guerrero for first base? Do you?
I listen. For him, I think it would be tough just because of all the nonsense things he said over the past few years about the Yankees. I mean, I was always a fan of Guerrero. I liked him a lot. I liked his dad, so I always rooted for him. But,
Yeah, me too.
I don't know.
I feel the same way as you.
I
But
think I'd much rather go for Chapman.
for third base and
Yeah.
keep Ben Rice at first.
Yeah.
And then hope Anthony Rizzo comes back and he give you presence off the bench.
Yeah, because I mean, to me, the way he's been hitting, it's been kind of difficult to stop playing Bryce.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't want to get caught up in the hoopla that we always get caught up with when we bring a guy up and he does something good for a little bit. Like, can he sustain it? Like, I'm rooting for the kid, don't get me wrong. I like him. I had this argument with my dad. My dad, like, after he hit those 3 home runs like a week ago, he's like, oh, he's our new first baseman. He's here to stay. I'm like, how many guys do we say that with? I could count on a bunch of fingers.
100%.
You know?
But at the same time, if he's doing it, he's doing it. Don't stop him from doing it.
Agreed. Don't pull him out like once Anthony Rizzo comes back. Basically what they did with Oswaldo Cabrera. He was on fire in April.
Right.
And then DJ LeMahieu comes back, they take him out, and now you kind of like stunted his growth a little bit.
Right.
Like Oswaldo Cabrera could have been good if you kept him in there and used DJ just to give him a day off here and there.
Right.
Or just use him for defense. But to be fair, at third base at the very least, Oswaldo Cabrera has been better than DJ at third base.
Yeah.
Which is shocking because that was one of his
And
knocks.
You gotta play
Right.
every day or else.
Right. You know, and if you wanted to fill in DJ somewhere else, why not look to Gleyber Torres, who's been an absolute bum? Put DJ at second and then have Cabrera at third and shore up at least half of your infield, like the left side. And then you have DJ, at least he's good defensively at second base. He's a Gold Glover there. You keep him there, and even if he doesn't hit, you almost can like weather that storm because everyone else is doing what they got to do, as opposed to Gleyber just being an empty like slot in the lineup. And what's even worse with Gleyber is he takes it even out onto the field.
Yeah.
So like if he does happen to get on, he gets himself thrown out at second or third, or he's fielding and he makes these bonehead errors. Like, you don't really see that from DJ. You should have left Cabrera at third, put DJ at second, and maybe things would have been different. But when you're going through 5 or 6 weeks of bad, really bad baseball, and it even ended on, I thought it was over this weekend, but it reared its ugly head in the 9th inning yesterday, it sucks. So the good thing, we're at the All-Star break. A lot of these guys get to rest for 4 days, do whatever they want, whether they go home and hang out with their family, whether they go on a vacation for a couple days, and then you get to re-gear up, rest. I'm worried about Stanton only because even when he comes back, he's one of those streaky guys where like he won't give you nothing for 2-3 weeks, and then all of a sudden he'll turn it on. Yeah. But maybe that's what we need. Maybe we just need him in the lineup as DH, put Judge back in the outfield.
It's a shame because he was having a very nice bounce back season.
He could have been the comeback player of the year because before he left, he had 18 homers and 45 RBIs. If he didn't get hurt, he might be looking at Soto's numbers. Soto has 24 home runs and like 60-something RBIs. If you would have told me Judge, Stanton, and Soto would have all had over 20 home runs and 60 RBIs, that's a three-headed monster right there, which is what I was talking about at the beginning of the season, and he was doing it. But he just can't stay healthy with these hamstrings.
Yeah.
The only thing I pray and hope for, guys, is he comes back because they're not going to do a rehab assignment with him. He's going right into the lineup. I just hope he has somewhat of timing going. Like, I don't know how he's taking his batting practice. I hope he's going up against our pitchers so that maybe when he goes against other opposing pitchers, he has his somewhat timing around, and maybe he could just maybe take off running, or even if he doesn't, maybe just him being in the lineup gives guys better pitches to hit, and everyone just starts to take off again.
Yeah,
because
hopefully his timing won't be too off, because I mean, a hamstring injury is a hamstring injury, but I don't think that should affect him taking swings, right?
no, it shouldn't. But just him going in his like overall funks, right? Like up and down hills, like
Which is gonna happen.
it is. I'm just hoping him being in the lineup gets everyone else going, like the Volpes, the Verdugos. Like they're gonna be worried more about the three-headed monster of Soto, Judge, and Stanton, so that they're gonna pitch other guys a little differently, and maybe those guys with their, their Major League Baseball players and their prowess be able to take advantage of it, and we could go back to the Yankees that were in April and May.
Right, that's why it's important to have those guys in the lineup,
Yeah.
right? Because that's what it is. It's going to change the way other guys are being pitched to.
Like he was on pace for 40 home runs and 100 RBIs.
Yeah.
And if you did that in a comeback year, amazing, right?
Yep. It was definitely nice to see.
Yeah, and I was happy with him because I always liked Giancarlo Stanton. And I still do, don't get me wrong.
Me too.
I just can't stand the fact he gets hurt with all these soft tissue injuries. It annoys me. Like, is it him? Is it the trainers? Like, you guys are world-class athletes and trainers and the best money can buy. Why is this guy getting hurt stepping on the base at third base?
I know.
If that's the case, don't step on the base, get called out.
His hamstrings is just on.
Right. Or
Very
slide.
good, I guess.
Or slide. Don't step on it. Don't send him then. Because they sent him, he steps on the bag, hurts his hamstring, he scores. If you know he's injured, the third base coach, you know what? It's not worth it. Stop. We'd rather have you the whole year. Stop. We don't need the run.
Yeah.
Or even if we do, maybe the next guy will get you in on a sacrifice fly, you can jog home. You know what I mean? Like, the guys got to think like this. Like, I don't understand, like, these guys are hurting people. You know what I mean? That's not their fault, but it's like maybe just being more aggressive about what you're doing.
Sometimes when you try to be overcautious, it's just as bad,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But now you got the All-Star break. You got the Home Run Derby tonight. We got a bunch of guys that are, Bobby Witt Jr. is in there. You got Pete Alonso, Jose Ramirez, Gunnar Henderson, to name a few.
I was wondering who the Texas guy was because I was like, I didn't
Bobby
think it
Witt
was
Jr.'s average home run distance is 418 feet.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a nice home run.
He's a little guy.
Yeah, he is. But good for him.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan.
I like all these guys. The only person I'm missing is Aaron Judge.
Yeah, but I'd much rather not see my guys in the home run derby than.
But you know what I want, and it's selfish, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's selfish. I'll tell you that right now. It's selfish. I want Aaron Judge to be in there like Pete Alonso's in there every year, just because Pete Alonso's in there. So that if they make it to the finals together, I want Judge to beat Pete Alonso every single time.
Yeah, but I just feel like
It's hurt Alonso
the
too.
home run derby always throws these guys off. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, I
it
think
seems to have
they
potential.
come off the All-Star break and then they.
I don't get that. That bothers me so much because you're such a professional hitter, right? All these guys are making millions and millions of dollars. They have batting practice every day for 6 months, if not longer, but probably like 7 or 8 months. You can't. And listen, and I get it. There's like a competitive nature about it. So, because I was talking about this to somebody else earlier, our buddy Amish Doshi. Okay, I have 2 thoughts. One, all right, Judge goes in there. Just pretend it's batting practice. Hit line drives. If they go out, they go out. And then his response was, well, when they're in the home run derby, they want to win. But then don't look at it like that. Just go in there to hit as many home runs as you can over the fence with your regular swing. Because you can't tell me Judge hits batting practice every day and he's not trying to hit home runs. Because he's not. You hit the ball solid and you see what happens.
For me, especially with the year that he's having, the less opportunity we're giving for something to go wrong with him, the better. Because he's just having way too good of a season. Just let him get his rest and we'll deal with it another time.
So you're not wrong. I just said I'm being selfish. I want to see him go up against Pete Alonso in the finals and beat the balls off him. Because everyone always compares Pete Alonso to Aaron Judge, and to me there's no comparison. Besides the power, there's no comparison. Aaron Judge is hitting 307, maybe 310.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Judge is
The best hitter in baseball.
the best hitter in baseball.
Right. And let's put this into perspective real quick. Pete Alonso go to as many home run derbies as you want, but in 2002, I think it was, Harper won the NL MVP.
With shorter numbers than Judge has.
His
already.
numbers are this, I memorized it. 309, 35 home runs, 84 RBIs, or 85.
How is-
Judge.
I saw that, but how is that possible?
But-
Did everybody just suck that year?
Maybe. Or maybe he was just that good for his ball club to propel them to where they needed to go, right?
Was that Bobby Abreu that won it there?
No, the Ranger?
No, before.
Oh, no, I missed it.
I don't
Judge
know.
now is hitting 307, 34 home runs, and it's got to be 84, 85 RBI, something like that. Because when he had like 32 home runs, he had 82 RBI. So I know there were maybe a couple solo home runs, but he has the identical numbers as a guy that played 100 and let's just say 50 games, and he's played 82, let's say 84 games right now. I don't know. I know it's a little bit more than that, but he had a couple days off, whatever. Let's say in the 80s, he's had 84 to 87 games played, and he has the same amount of RBIs, one less home run, and the same batting average. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
So me not being selfish, I agree with you. I don't want him in the home run derby because I want him to propel the Yankees to the playoffs.
I don't even
Get-
want him in the All-Star game.
Right. And you know what? That's a fair comment. He could have accepted it and declined and said he's not going. He still would have got the All-Star nod. But, you know, the difference is with this, as long as he doesn't get hurt, knock on wood, when he's playing in the game, it's almost like he's playing in another game. So he's not going to change his approach like you said with the home run derby where it can mess his swing up.
Right.
He's just going to try and hit the ball or whatever. And you know what? If he winds up hitting a home run or two, give him the All-Star MVP. That's fine. And I'm okay with it. It's, it's something. But, I'm excited. I want to watch the home run derby. I want to watch the All-Star game tomorrow. We got to find a place to watch that tomorrow in Ocean City. And now before we get to Ocean City, let's talk about the Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, they should have already started building the statue for this kid because what he did for the team is, I mean, with this contract with Brunson, you just don't see that.
Right? Isn't that crazy to me?
And listen, let's not forget the whole thing that I saw something about it where with the media deal that they signed and the salary kept going up in 2028, I want to say it is, which is just works out where his contract will be ending that he just signed. It's going to be like, I think if I remember right,
It's like $300 million.
he's going to be making like 80 million a season.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's like upwards of $300 million after that. So to his credit, he forgoes like $113 million this year because he could have opted out next year and got the full amount.
Right.
So he's losing 113.
130, I think it is.
Okay, 130, even more.
He's leaving on the table.
He's leaving on the table, but he's doing it for a non-selfish reason, which I like.
For sure.
So
the
he's
guy is just.
he's saying, I want to get as many good guys in here that we can to try and win a championship in the next 3 to 4 years. After that, you could pay me $300+ million because he's still going to be young enough to be able to still be good. And then, essentially, he's saying, if we win a championship or two in the next 3 or 4 years, awesome, because you guys have been wanting that, and that means I played well enough and the team played well enough and I did what we had to do to make it work. And then on the back end, you're going to take care of me and give me my money. And then if we could scrounge around a bunch of like rookies or a bunch of low-priced veterans to keep us in the playoff mix, so be it. If not, we got our championships and we're good.
Right.
And I respect that because not a lot of guys would do that.
No.
You just saw LeBron James take even more money opting out to be greedy, and he's the exact opposite. So to me, it's a toss-up. A lot of guys say Brunson's the king of the city right now. To me, it's a toss. It's almost like a co-MVP. It's a toss-up. You got Aaron Judge and you got Brunson, because neither one has won a championship. The first person that wins a championship gets the key to the city and is the king of New York. Until then, it's a complete tie in my opinion. And unfortunately for the Mets, I would put people in there, but I can't because they haven't had winning seasons, and Pete Alonso didn't hit 62 home runs in a single season.
Right, yeah, but nobody on the Mets is coming close
Right.
to those two guys.
Yeah, and Judge is pretty much the best player in baseball right now because Mike Trout's always hurt.
That's the difference.
Right.
That's the difference. Judge is the best player in baseball right now. So they're
Right.
you can't.
And he has been for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Ever since 2022, when he hit the 62 home runs, he's been the best player. You could argue Ohtani is also the best player because he pitches, but he got hurt and he's not even pitching anymore. He's just a DH, and he don't have the same numbers now as Judge. So you can't even compare the two. So as good as he is, until he pitches, I'm not entertaining that. A little Cracker Barrel, yes.
That sandwich looks.
It's phenomenal. Cracker Barrel's phenomenal, bro.
That sandwich looks good.
Have you never had Cracker Barrel?
Yes, we
Oh,
did
okay.
last year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right. You're right. Anyway, all right. So we're done with that. We talked a little bit about the Knicks. We ain't got nothing much else with that. I'm just excited for the All-Star break. Hopefully the Yankees come out swinging. Same thing with the Mets. I wish the Mets the best too because it's good for the city. Now let's talk about our TV stuff. Let's get to the TV stuff. So Ernie wasn't here last week. I don't remember what we talked about. I think we talked about Curb, so I'm not going to touch on that.
You were going to ask him about Out of Range.
Oh, yes! You know what, my man? Thank you so much. I need to ask him about this. Bro, first off, what the F is going on with Outer Range? I am so lost. And I watched it in concession. Like, I took a week off between season 1 and 2. We were talking about it last week. I'm like, listen, season 2, there was like 3 different timelines, people going back and forth. You had the sheriff in like 1882 or 86, whatever it was. Then you had, and she saw the young Royal Abbott.
Right.
Then you had his son go back in time, then come back. Then you had the like 1900s version of Royal when he was like an older man, when he was with Cecile, but not with Cecile because the other guy, what was it, Tillerson or something, was with him, and then he stole him from him. And then you have the old, like, Josh Brolin Royal Abbott, right? So I got all that, right? But I don't get why like the circle in the ground disappears and comes back, and then people go in there and they all act differently, and then his little, I want to say like granddaughter like gets older, and she's in the same time frame as her younger self, and then at the very end of the season she throws her in there. We don't know where the hell she is at this point. And then you got what is it? Was it Petey or Pete, the brother, his son that went back and then came back. But then when he came back like a few weeks earlier where he saw himself beating up the other dude, and then he stops himself from beating the other dude, and then he dies. Like, I get, like, you can't do that in time travel.
Right.
Like, you can't do
goes
that.
wrong in time travel.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't see yourself because it's a paradox.
You can't interfere.
Yeah, you can't interfere. So he interferes. The guy gets away, loses his belt buckle, which is the same thing that happened early on. But now his own self hits the cement and dies. Then he grabs his own self, which shouldn't be possible. Like, the whole entire earth should explode.
Time itself.
Right?
Time
Like,
itself.
whatever the hell would happen, right?
Cease to exist.
Yeah, right? Then he drops him in the hole. Where does he go in the hole? Don't know. Just like the little girl, Amy or whatever, but then her name was Autumn when she was older. Like, who's changing her name? And then it makes sense that she doesn't remember, the old Autumn doesn't remember anything that happened to her before 9, because Autumn threw herself in the hole. That's why she forgets everything. So I get that, but it doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And you want to know the funniest part about all this? We're never going to know what happens. You know why? It was canceled.
Really?
Canceled.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, it was?
Canceled. So we watched that show for shit, and we're never going to have any answers.
Oh my God.
And that's the most annoying thing about a show like that. Like, if it was a regular
The
show
season
like
two
Curb,
definitely ended that there was going to be another season.
no shit.
I guess they didn't have enough people watching.
Yeah, no shit. You know why? Because it's so effing confusing.
So if you think that that's confusing, then you gotta watch Dark Matter.
Why? Because it's less confusing?
No,
Or it's more confusing?
probably more.
Because I'm going to watch it tonight. But now I don't know if I want to, because if it's more confusing than Outer Range, that shit's never going to have a second season. So now you're just going to be pissed off for nothing.
It's like the same
Similar for sure.
Whatever. I'm going to watch it. But I'm just saying, there were so many things. And the only question I have now, because we talked about it last week, so it brought a lot of stuff, and now we're talking about it now. Why did Royal take the woman's name, last name Abbott? That wasn't answered. His name was like Sumner or something like that, or Summers or whatever it was, someone in S, because they said it in the second season. Why would he take her last name?
because of the whole time travel thing. So he basically was trying to create a new identity so that they wouldn't figure out that he was from hundreds of years.
It was 100 years ago, basically.
Right.
Okay, I guess that somewhat makes sense. I thought he did it because she owned that land, so he just wanted to be he wanted to be the charge of that land and get the land.
I mean, my thought process was that it was just because he was essentially creating a new identity.
That would make sense.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take that. I'll agree with that. That's fine. So yeah, all right. So I got my frustration out with that. I'll open the floor up because I've watched some other things, but I need a breather.
Okay.
I got really excited about that show. What do you guys watch?
Let's see. I finished The Bear. That was good. It
you-
seemed kind of short.
Season 3?
Yeah. It seemed kind of short. I mean, they're only 20 minutes, so I guess
Right.
it's kind of short. Most of them. I enjoyed it. It was good. And it leaves it pretty open.
For another season?
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely going to be more.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean, it's just so popular.
I feel like it's going to be more.
and everybody's so into it.
I think they may have been like, doing it already, or it's in the works because, like, it just gave me that feel like it's not going to be a long time before it's back.
I got the same feeling, and I hope you're right, because me, I was very disappointed.
Really?
Like, to me, it felt like
Wow.
it was like
Okay.
they rushed the season.
It was fast.
Because
It went
they
fast.
had to get it out for some reason,
Right.
and they just like rushed it. Because to me, it was like
There was a lot of different stuff going on.
it was like every episode focused on one individual,
Yeah, I didn't. There's one episode I didn't like.
and it was like kind of like nothing of substance, and it was just like going back to shit we saw in the first two seasons
Okay.
already.
Right.
I wasn't.
So
impressed.
after I finished Out of Range, that's my next show that I watched. Right.
Oh, you watched it?
I didn't watch
You
the
all
whole,
watched
I
it?
didn't watch the whole thing yet. I watched the first 2 episodes. And my dad started watching it because I said it was a good show. So he watched the first 2 seasons, and then he was in the middle of the 3rd season. My father was like, "The second episode is all about you." And I watched the second episode. And I don't get it, so I got to ask him about it. But the
Which
first
is the second episode? Can you remind me? or
no, it was like lackluster. Like I don't even remember. It was like so the first episode, from what I remember, it was all him in the past being like shitted on by like his
Oh, the guy from the Talk Soup.
yes, the talk soup guy. He just kept shitting on him, but then he was I feel like the first episode there was like maybe 3 minutes of
New stuff.
No, not even new, of actual like verbal communication. Like there wasn't a lot of words being spoken, not a lot of conversations. It was just you seeing him working in different restaurants or different schools to learn how to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was flashbacks
Yeah.
when he was at that other place.
Yeah, and then like the only times he was talking was when it was in the present, when he was talking to the girl that he's in business with about the new restaurant and this is how we're gonna do it and like we're gonna change the menu every day and I'm like whatever and I'm like this is stupid. And then the second episode, I don't even know if I got through the whole second episode because I was watching it while I was working out. It just seemed more of the same. It just didn't seem anything inspiring or whatever.
And season 3 is all that.
Oh, it's I don't know if it's that.
Oh,
So-
right, that was season 2.
Yeah, so like season 3, like I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere. Like I hope it gets better than next season. Is it 10 episodes?
Yeah.
So I got like 8 more episodes to go at least, but I'll
And
finish it.
it's Super, like Wander said, super quick.
Yeah, it's you got through
I
it.
just was not.
So you didn't like
Me,
it?
the feeling that I got, it was like they were rushed to get a season out. Like they had to get a season out. They had to get it out, and it was just like.
Why'd they have to get a season out?
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's a feeling that.
No,
got.
I
Not
know,
saying
I
that
understand,
that's
but
what
like
it was, but
it hasn't been on in a year. Normally you have enough time in
it's
a
like
year.
we didn't write anything new, so let's just take everything that we did the past 2 seasons and just keep doing flashbacks of that stuff.
Okay, so it's
I mean, I
all
guess the whole premise of the show is just to show that what a mental case he is.
Yeah.
Essentially, right?
Right.
That does seem like it's like a big
and-
part of it.
Did they talk about his brother at all in this season?
Yeah,
his
he comes
brother's
up.
actually
He comes up.
in the season.
Okay.
One of the episodes, he's in the episode.
But like it's a
It's not
flashback.
Yeah.
Yes, but for one of the other characters, nothing to do with the 2 brothers.
Oh wow. Okay. So hopefully I get to watch it this week. It's gonna be tough with Ocean City.
Because honest, that's what season 3 is. Each episode is focused on one of the other characters, not even the main guy.
Oh,
Right.
I didn't even realize that, but that makes sense now that you said that.
Oh, that's good. So so basically what they did with season 3 is probably what they should have done in season 1 is they're building up all the characters around him. All right, so maybe there'll be another season. It depends.
Oh,
like-
there's definitely
No,
going to be
there's
another
definitely-
season because it's just so
The way it ends?
popular. And
Oh.
he's just such a
Did you see him in Iron Claw?
yeah.
It's great, man.
Yeah, it was. They all
I
were.
mean, listen. There's no denying that the acting in the show is just crazy. They're so good. The cousin, I mean, they're just amazing actors. Like, you know, the main guy, I don't even know what his name is, but
Arthur Hillebrand.
okay. I mean,
He's
he's like you would think that he's in real life a mental case.
Right.
Because I mean, it's how do you play that mental of a person.
No, he's good. He's
You know?
definitely good. He's definitely good.
Yeah, he's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like the show, because like they were very all good together, you know?
And the fact of the matter is that I think there's a lot of truth to the show. I think that industry is seriously that mental. And-
Oh, 100%. I've
Yeah.
worked in that industry.
Yeah.
It is definitely like that in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It is crazy in the kitchen like that. And you should know too.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of truth to it.
100%. 100%. I've never experienced anything like that. And I worked at Applebee's, not even like whatever kind of star restaurant they were supposed to portray themselves at. But in any restaurant, like full-blown restaurant, it's like that. It's crazy.
Right.
It's obscene. But anyway.
I did watch one other thing. It was called Quad Gods. It was a documentary on HBO about these guys that are paraplegic.
Oh yeah, I saw something about
And
that.
they become like the first disabled like esports team. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I enjoyed
Yeah?
it. Yeah.
Awesome. It's called Quad.
Gods.
Quad
Gods.
gods, yeah.
So-
Quadriplegics.
So thanks. I got the
sure.
reference. So I watched something over the weekend
Okay.
and I finished it. It was 2 seasons, 6 episodes a
Guys just
season.
banged out a show.
Yeah, I banged out a show in like literally 3 days.
What streamer?
HBO Max.
2 seasons.
2 seasons,
How many episodes you said?
6 in each season, so 12 episodes. But they're not half hours. They're like long. They're like
Yeah.
45 to an hour. I would say-
give up. What was it?
The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Did you guys hear the story?
What is that?
Bro, you have
Oh, it's like a docuseries.
yeah, you have to watch it.
Okay, yeah, I'll check
It was so crazy, and if you like laughing at a man, this is the show for you. Because this guy's like half metrosexual, half like simp. Like he was like abused by his wife. So the premise of the story is, and it's a true story, obviously. They have a family with 3 boys. They adopt a girl from the Ukraine. And she's like not a paraplegic, but she has disabilities. Like her legs are messed up. She's a dwarf, so they adopt her. And then everything after that, it goes crazy. Like I don't want to ruin it
Is
for
this
you
new?
guys. It's not so new. I say it came out within the last year
Okay.
on HBO Max, but
I
it's
can't believe I haven't heard of it.
it's crazy. I was
I'll check
laughing
it
at it all the time because the guy's like, I don't know what he is, but like he's so animated and he's a good storyteller. So it makes you laugh. At the same time, it's a sad story, and it just goes on. Like there's this,
he's polarizing.
yeah, like there's an episode or two that is boring because they lead you one way and then they go another way. But either which way, the story in itself is
It's
curious,
crazy,
which is why they call it that, the Curious Case of Natalia Grace. And it's
Maybe I'll start it tonight.
yeah, it's very quick to watch, but I think you guys will like it. I think everyone else out there will like it.
I feel like HBO, like whatever they do it like well enough to where you'll get
Yeah,
something
it's
out of it.
really good. And they flip out, and people are crying, and people are cursing, and there's just so many different characters. and
Speaking
it's
of
nuts.
HBO and football,
Hard Knocks.
has anybody watched the Hard Knocks with the Giants yet?
You know what? I haven't.
It's got to be
I
a
haven't.
few episodes in.
Yeah.
They said it was good. Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 episodes in by now. No, maybe 3.
Does it always start this early?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, now, because they do multiple ones, they do an in-season one, and I think they're doing a 3rd one. If I
Oh,
heard
really?
correctly this year. Yeah, I forget what it was, when it was happening or what time periods they.
I also heard, speaking of football programs, I also heard there's a receivers thing.
Yeah, on Netflix.
I haven't seen
I
it.
want to check that out too.
No.
Like
Michael-
the quarterback.
Yeah,
Michael
like the
K,
quarterback one.
and
I
then
like the
Michael-
quarterback one. So hopefully the receiver one is good. I think they follow like Justin Jefferson and the guy in the Lions. What was his name? Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then somebody else. We gotta check that out too because I like the quarterback one on Netflix, but hopefully it's good. We'll see. Did we talk about Axel F? We might have
Yeah.
talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Did you watch that yet?
I did.
And
Entertaining.
Yeah, right. It was funny,
I
right?
liked it.
I liked it too. Yeah.
I think, I mean, I know it's a lot of makeup, but that motherfucker doesn't age, man. Shit, he looks good.
He looks the same.
Yep.
The other two guys
Are dead.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt looks like a senior next to him.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Not even him. What about Taggart and Rosewood?
Right.
Those guys look
Yeah.
like they're
Well,
dead.
He's up there.
Wow. But meanwhile, motherfucker doesn't look.
Judge Reinhold.
Right. He looks the same he did in the other movie.
Yeah. And those other guys look terrible. I mean, Billy Rosewood had a lot of plastic surgery done. That's why he looks that bad.
Yeah.
And Taggart's just old. And what made it worse is they colored his mustache and hair.
Yeah.
So it made him. It tried to make him look younger, but his body just looked so old that they should have left him with like some gray.
Right.
So that it looked fine.
But I thought it was entertaining. I
Oh, it
liked
was-
it. I enjoyed it.
It was great. Like obviously it's not as good as 1 and 2, but it was better than 3, and it was right up there with the other ones as far as entertainment value.
Yeah.
You know, so it was great. A lot of silly things happened in it, but it was fine. I enjoyed it.
I did too.
Yeah, I thought it could have been a lot worse. I'm glad it
For
wasn't.
sure. I thought it was
yeah.
going to be.
Right.
Yeah, I had no expectation.
Right, but I watched it a few times. Like I watch it before I go to bed. I just put it on before I fall asleep, and I'm like, yeah, a little Axel Foley. And they played the music all the time,
Right,
which was
right,
great.
right,
And they
right.
played it in different tones,
Yes.
which I kind of liked. Like in the beginning, it was the original one. At the end, it was the original, and then throughout the movie, they were playing like different notes and tones,
Yeah,
whatever you
yeah.
want to call it.
I noticed that too.
And I thought it was awesome that they did it like that, you know. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, right,
Now we
guys?
just gotta wait for what it's Happy Gilmore 2 is coming.
Yeah, I think it's next year. There's something in November too. Oh, Beetlejuice is coming out.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think that's November.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Beetlejuice 2, and that looks good. Look at the trailer, that looks good. But yeah. Oh, did you? I just thought about this. Oh my god. Did you guys see the new Captain America trailer?
I did.
No.
Oh, you're terrible. Do your homework. What'd you think?
Yeah, it looks alright. It looks kind of dark. So it's like different. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
He's no Steve Rogers.
Nope,
but-
and they say that. They say that. Harrison Ford tells him that, which I'm like, whoa. But yeah, so remember Captain America: The Winter Soldier movie?
Uh-huh.
It kind of almost looks like that, where it's like almost like an espionage movie. But you have to watch the trailer. But at the very end of the trailer, they like fade to black, and then they show you like the credits or whatever, and then they come right back, and you see the Red Hulk.
Oh right, that's what everybody seems to
Oh,
be.
I mean, I knew he was going to show up, but if you're showing the Red Hulk in the first trailer, what other cameos might be in that movie?
And when is this coming out?
February.
Oh.
So it's literally right around the corner. We'll be discussing this right after Thanksgiving.
When does Deadpool Wolverine come out?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Get a grip. The 25th. Come on, bro. What's going on here? Can't wait for that movie. I already got tickets. I have
you
tickets for a
do?
month. Yeah, I have tickets for a
10
month.
days.
Yeah. There you go. Even crazier. I've had tickets for like a month and a half already.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll be talking about that. I'm going to see it that Saturday. I'll be talking about that on that Monday or Tuesday.
I'm going Sunday.
Good for you. So we'll be able to talk about it. Boom. I love it. You better go see it too.
All right.
It's going to be great. There's supposed to be so many cameos in that. I'm so excited for that movie. There's no way they can fuck that up, in my mind.
Maybe I'll have to make plans with Paulie.
You have to. You have to tag along with Paulie on that Tuesday afternoon before we do the show. Go see it at like 11, 12 o'clock. Watch it and then come right here and you'll be fresh.
With Paulie and Mama Lynn?
Right. You'll be fresh, ready to go. But yeah. So yeah. I mean, now there's really nothing left to talk about. We're ready to go in Ocean City. We're on vacation mode, me and Big Earn.
Yep.
We
Yep.
can't wait for Ocean City. It's going to be nice and breezy and hot down there.
Gotta
We-
go home and pack.
Did you pack a bathing suit?
Yeah,
All right, pack a bathing suit. I packed a towel too.
Yeah, I'm gonna pack a towel.
We're gonna go to the beach. It's even though we have later tea times, we'll still be like at the house relatively early because all our golf trips, like all the courses, are within 10, 15, 20 minutes of where we're staying. So we get home, Don't even shower. We'll throw the base suit on. We'll get some sun. We'll go in the ocean. Maybe we'll see a shark or two. It was just Shark Week. Shark Week just ended yesterday. So I've been watching that. I forgot to talk about it, but we'll talk about it next week because I didn't watch a lot of it. Because I've been doing a lot of stuff. And now it's time to turn it over to end the show with the Wanderer.
All right,
Give
we
us
got
the shows.
3 picks as usual. First up, we have Pete Rock in Common with the Auditorium Volume 1. Next up, Action Bronson with Johann Sebastian Baklava. And third up, we've got Evidence in Blue with Los Angeles. Those are the 3 picks for this week.
I love it. So we're done for a week. We're now going to go travel to Ocean City. We're going to send, me and Ernie are going to send a lot of videos of golfing in Ocean City and anything else that we're going to be doing, something crazy down there on our, TikTok and Instagram for Kings of Opinion. Hopefully you guys will check it out. Guys, enjoy your week. Enjoy the summer. It's hot as hell out. Enjoy.
Take care.